Welcome to another episode of Music City Cruisers.
Today, we're going to take all of this and put it in there.
So like the boys said, today we're gonna continue working on this 1982 FJ45 Landcruiser. We've got everything's been cleaned, painted, powder coated, and is ready to go back on the engine. The transmission we have sitting under the workbench over there. We'll come more to that here in just a little bit. So we're going to get the clutch on. We're going to get the accessories on. Everything back on the engine. Hopefully get the engine back in the truck. Let's get to it.
Which one of y'all start? Put that up there. You want to put that one in?
Solid, like
It does.
Like dry ice turds from us anywhere.
Anywhere where you want to wait for Hudson to get done.
That's a lot. What else have you got?
Just popped over to Kevin's place to press out a bearing on that clutch fork, and man, he's coming along. Check out this 3B, man. This thing is looking sweet. What you got there, Kev?
We got a power steering hose that is quite long. We had bought one for an FJ62, trying to make it work. It just wasn't going to do it, so we went down to our local hose maker and had them fab up a hose, and I just told them to make it the same length as the 62s, and I'm just going to stick it in here, and we're going to figure out a routing for it just to get it on the truck, and so we have some sort of power steering.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome. This thing's coming along real nice. We'll have another video on this coming soon. But back to the 2F. All right, so we've got the bell housing on, we've got the engine mounts on. We were going to continue reassembling this with all the parts we have on the table over there, but Kevin came up with a great idea of, while we've got this out, and why don't we just go ahead and put the transmission on and then put it in the truck, and that way we don't have any issues with accessories and everything getting in the way. So we're hoping this is going to be an easier direction, get the transmission on, get everything in, and then assemble everything once it's in the vehicle. Because as you can see, we got no fenders, we got nothing in the way, nothing to impede the reassembly. So that's what we're going to do. Quick update on the transmission. So this is a brand new H55 transmission. We're running an FJ60 transfer case. It has been rebuilt with all terrain tamer parts. So the transmission is all new and good to go. So if you guys check out our videos, you know we're going to be eventually running a 12HT in this truck. The good news is the input shaft on this transmission is good for both the 12HT and the 2F, so we won't have to muck around there. But anyway, let's go ahead and slap the transmission behind the engine and stick it in the truck. All right, so before we get started, we need to go ahead and get the clutch fork and the throwout bearing in, also the slave cylinder, master slave cylinder. But we noticed that on the clutch fork, there's only got one of these little, like, I guess there was that retainer clip or something. And there should be two. If you look at this, there's another clutch fork right here. You can see there's a hole in each end for one of these pins. So we don't have one, we've only got one of them. So we're gonna go ahead and make one out of just some wire we've got hanging around over there. Yeah, let's get back to it.
All right, guys, we got our clip fabbed up here. We're just going to go ahead and put it on the throwout bearing retainer. It just goes in just like that, right there. And this one goes right here on the opposite side. There we go.
Man. Perfect fit.
Yep.
Brilliant. All right, guys, it's the next day in the shop here. We made some awesome progress yesterday. We got the engine and the transmission mounted together. We got them both in the truck. However, we did run into a small problem. All right, so here's the first problem. So you can see the top of the transmission is inside the transmission tunnel, but this right here is touching, and it is really tight back here. You can't really see it that well. But anyway, it's tight. So that's gonna have to come down. And here's the second problem. So you can see where the drive shaft mounts to here Although this isn't touching, it's really tight. I mean, it will spin, but there's no way I could get the drive shaft on that angle. It would just end up touching this this cross member that runs from the side of the frame to the other side of the frame. So now we used to have an H41 transmission in this thing before we decided to put the H55 transmission. So this transmission cross member right here and this isolator, they are both from the old transmission. So I'm thinking if I could maybe get a isolator that is a little bit smaller, maybe half an inch or half the size of this, that would bring the whole transmission down an inch. I'm not sure at the moment, but anyway, I've got a lot to get on with, so a lot to keep me busy. If anyone has got any better suggestions, I'd be interested to hear it. Please leave your comments down below. I really appreciate it. But anyway, lots to get back on with, so let's get to it. We got quite a lot accomplished today. Still a fair amount to do. Still got to, let's say, get the thermostat in, set the belts, get the cooling system all plumbed. Got to put the starter motor in. Got to put the distributor in. Got to adjust the valves. Still need to put the exhaust manifold on, and just tie up a few loose ends before we can do a test fire. But that's the plan for the next video. We'll get a test fire done. Hopefully this thing will fire right up, and we can get the rest of the truck back together. There's a few things I still need to order that I didn't realize I hadn't already ordered. So for example, I got this, the thermostat housing here, all mocked up, but I don't have a thermostat for it. I still need some clamps. I also wanted to order a new fuel filter, a new oil filter. So I just want to say a huge shout out and thanks to Kev. I really appreciate your help getting the engine in. I couldn't have done it without you. On the next video, we'll do the test fire. With a bit of luck, fingers crossed. I got a few more parts coming in. They should be here real soon. I'm also going to be getting a new set of tires for the 45, so that's going to be exciting. Once again, if you have a suggestion for that transmission, just lowering it a little bit, I'd be keen to hear your thoughts. Please comment down below. So be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification button. Check us out on Instagram at Music City Cruisers, and we'll catch you next time.